Please put your hands up if your answer is yes. Is it your own choice to be here today with us? Oh, great! Actually, it is obvious. Why? It is nearly the end of third session, and you are still here, listening carefully and smiling. Thank you for choosing to be here today with us. Now, I'd like to share a short story, which actually left me with a profound lesson. And it is just related to my topic today. So it was just a bit before the beginning of new school year. And as usual, it was time for our annual back-to-school shopping trip with my children. And I decided to take my daughter first because she had always been an easy companion and trusting my decisions and accepting my choices without much fuss. But my son, on the other hand, is a completely different story. That's why I chose to go with her first. So our first step was closing the store, and within half an hour, I guess, I was able to choose everything she needed. I just asked her to put on them to make sure that the sizes were right. She was just following me quietly and showing little interest in the process. But her indifference didn't bother me. Why? Because I was sure that I had made the best choices for her. And our next step was a different store where we wanted to buy a new school bag for her. And as soon as we entered, my eyes were drawn to a display of pink, colorful bags. And I said, perfect for a girl for her age, because they were pink and just adorned with princess pictures. I picked up particularly charming one, and I was going to turn around and show her and saying, oh, this is just for you. But when I turned around, I saw her standing still and her gaze fixed on a shelf of black plain bags, completely different from what I had chosen for her. And she was just looking at the bags with great admiration. At that moment, something clicked. I stopped and I put a step back and I allowed her to make her own choice. Later that night, I found her standing in front of the mirror and holding the bag that she had chosen for herself. And her face was lit up by happiness. Just the black plain bag, the cheapest thing we had bought on that day, held an immense magic for her. And I think it was the most valuable thing we had bought on that day, although, as I mentioned, it was the cheapest thing. And later that night, when I was reflecting on the events of the day, there was a question in my mind. So, why is it so important to give everyone a chance to make their own choice? So, I'm sure that if you have a chance now to just reflect on the question, you'll also come up with great ideas. Now, let's go back to where do we first start making choices for our children? Do you know what is the first choice we make for them? Okay, we all start choosing a beautiful name for them. And then we go on, choosing things to wear, toys to play with, schools they attend to, and even friends we think that are right for them. And as our children grow, our choices also go on. And we start making bigger choices for them, like interests and their career paths. We try to direct them. And unfortunately, sometimes making these choices, we can deprive them from following their desires that we think that they are unachievable. All along, we deeply that these choices are acts of love, supreme duty, and even an everlasting responsibility for us. And in some cultures, this sense of responsibility even goes deeper. And then we make a choice of life partner. But regardless of our cultural background, I'd like to ask ourselves, are we really giving them a chance to make their true paths? So, while we all have different parental beliefs, we all share one thing for our children. That is the desire for them to grow and to become fulfilled individuals. But we sometimes forget that the most important thing for it is making them or allowing them a chance to make their own choices. Now, today I'd like to highlight some reasons why we should let them do it for themselves. The freedom to make a choice allows people to follow their passion and interest. And it leads to deep understanding of life and fulfillment. And when they have a chance to follow their own paths, to make their own choices, people can live authentically, and which is really important for happiness and well-being. And actually this principle applies not only on life's big decisions, but also on everyday moments. For example, let's imagine the joy and autonomy a child experiences while just giving a chance to make a small choice in shopping, like in my daughter's case. And we can see that it gives them a chance to express their true personality. And they learn to make choices, to take responsibilities for them. And they also enjoy the consequences. So these small acts cause beautiful, happy life. And from time to time, while making choices, they feel just valued, capable, and very confident in making choice. And this is the foundation of self-expression and fulfillment. Now, actually, psychological studies also have proven that when children are given the right to choose, they can feel very happy, and they are always willing to engage in tasks willingly, and they also have deep interest in what they do. And for example, 2 years ago, I remember when my son wanted to start playing football, we said, no, it's not for you, it's not a great choice. And we made him just go on with music studies. And later I saw that he felt depressed. And instead of giving him a chance to make his own choice, to choose an interest, I took him to a psychologist. Why doesn't he feel happy? So that's why sometimes we look for ways to make our children happy, but we forget that we can do it just giving them a chance to make a just choice in their lives. So anyway, this life is given to them once. Why don't we allow them to choose and live it happily? The second reason I'd like to mention here is that when we give our children a chance to make a choice, we also allow them to shape their own paths. And when they are allowed to shape their own paths, they can express themselves, they can express who they truly are. And when they have the control over their lives, it helps them to grow as successful individuals and also contribute meaningfully to society. What do I mean, contribute society meaningfully here? Let's just imagine someone who chooses a career path out of passion and someone else who chooses it to meet their parents' expectations. Let's take a real example. For example, a doctor. Imagine a doctor chooses his profession because he just wanted to meet his parents' expectation. And on the other hand, let's choose another doctor who did it because it was his passion. He had always wanted to help people and heal them and to be very contributional to society. And who do you think? Or first I'd like to ask you, who would you trust with your life? Of course, the one who had a chance to choose his profession because it was his own passion. The ones who do it, the people who have the opportunity to make their career paths themselves, are more likely to succeed in life. The others can also work very well, but not with the same desire and purpose. Next, for example, imagine how many professional footballers our country has lost because their parents didn't allow their children to make their own choices. Maybe my son is one of them too. He could be very successful and contribute our country, but I didn't allow him, unfortunately. Now I'd like to go on with the last reason I'd like to mention today. This is when we give our children a right or a chance to make a choice, we also allow them to learn from their wrong choices. What do I mean? When sometimes as parents we fear that, okay, they might make a wrong choice, and that's why we try to shield them from failure. But we forget that by doing this, we don't give them the great experience of learning from their mistakes. And when they make a choice themselves, they always understand that they are accountable of their actions. But when someone else does it, they sometimes end up blaming them or just avoiding responsibility. 8 years ago, I guess, I made a tough choice about my career. When I saw a job advert in a big, let's say one of the biggest airline company in our country, I decided to apply. Yeah, of course, the desire for traveling and the high income salary excited me. And when I asked my family, they supported me. They said, it is your own choice. After a long process of interviewing and tons of exams I took, and then studying 6 more months at the aviation academy, I started work. But imagine what happened. After just working for 6 months in the company, I found out that, I had made a big mistake. So, what happened? And instead of blaming someone else, I took an action. I reflected and said, where did I make a mistake? So immediately I left my job there and went back to teaching, where I could find myself very well. And it means that this was not a failure for me. It was a great chance for me to learn from my wrong choice. And only through these choices, right or wrong, we can learn and we can grow. Because they give us a chance for self-reflection, and they give us a chance to think and to take better steps in the future. So, I can say that rather than thinking, I can make the best choices for my children, we should ask, how can I empower them to make best choices for themselves? Of course, I know this shift is a bit difficult because it challenges our cultural norms and parental beliefs, but only this transformation can help us to unlock their true potential. And by giving them a chance to choose for themselves, we can set a foundation for them to be successful people, to learn from their mistakes, and then to be a great person, a great individual who can contribute to the society. Now, I'd like to think over it next time when you allow your child to make a choice for themselves. Let them choose for themselves and let them enjoy this beautiful life which is just given to them. Thank you for listening.